Hi students, it's Mrs. Martin. I'm so happy to read you this book today called Earth. It's called Earth, My First 4.54 Billion Years. Written by Stacy McAnulty and illustrated by David Litchfield and published by Scholastic. When I'm reading this book, I want you to listen for the answers to these questions. How many planets are in our solar system? What is the order of planets from the sun? Which is the smallest planet? Which is the largest planet? Which two planets are closest to Earth? Can you put the planets in size order? What is it called when the Earth is spinning? How long does it take the Earth to spin around once? What is it called when the Earth is circling the sun? How long does it take the Earth to circle around the sun once? And what happens to how we see the moon as it revolves? That's a lot of questions. You can also see the questions in the description at the end. So maybe after we finish reading the book, you could go back and quiz yourself. Here's the cover of the book, Earth, My First 4.54 Billion Years. Now in math, we learned we would read that number as 4 and 54 hundredths of a billion years. But for just reading, we can say 4.5 billion years. Here's inside of it, the title page, and another title page. Now notice on this title page it says, By Earth, with Stacy McAnulty, illustrated by Earth and David Litchfield. That's because the perspective of this book is written from Earth. Perspective means it's who's talking, so it's as if the Earth is actually talking. You can tell by the way the title says, My First 4.54 Billion Years, rather than saying like its first 4.54 billion years. Hi, my name is Earth. Some people call me Gaia, the blue marble, or the third planet from the sun. You can call me Planet Awesome. My family is really, really big. Happy holidays. And then here's a picture of all the planets. You can see it in the order from the sun. It starts at the bottom. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Also, what else can we learn from this picture? We can see that the biggest planet is Jupiter and the smallest planet is Mercury. So if we are putting them in order of size, the biggest is Jupiter, then Saturn, Uranus, then Neptune, then Earth, then Venus, then Mars, and then Mercury. I'll keep reading. I have 7 siblings in my solar system. Oh, so they say 7 other planets. So really we know that there are 8 planets in total. I'll keep reading. I'm closest to Venus and Mars. Some used to say I have 8 siblings, but Pluto is just more like a family pet. I'll share with you kids, when I was a kid and I learned the planets, I learned that there were 9, but in 2006 they changed calling Pluto from a planet to change it to a dwarf planet because it has an unusual orbit and because it's very, very small. In fact, some of the moons in our solar system are even bigger than Pluto. I'll keep reading. And then there are my cousins. My Milky Way family has billions of planets. Told you, big family. My favorite things to do are spinning. It takes me a whole day to go around once. All right, so that's one of the things you'll be learning in science this year in 4th grade. When the Earth spins, we say that it's rotating. When it goes around once, we call it a rotation. Earth's rotation takes 24 hours or 1 day. I'll keep reading. And circling the sun, that takes me an entire year. So the Earth is old, while it's rotating on its axis, it's also revolving around the sun. They say circling, but other words you might need to know is orbit the sun or revolve around the sun. And that takes 1 year. Remember, like on LNN in the morning, sometimes we would, on your birthday, we would say, happy one more revolution around the sun, because you went around the sun 1 more year. My best friend is the moon. We hang out all the time, even when you can't see her. The moon needs 27 days, 7 hours, 43 minutes, and 12 seconds to go around me. I've timed her. So the moon is also rotating and revolving around the Earth. It takes about a month for it to revolve around the Earth. Now, as the moon is revolving around the Earth, when we look up in the sky, the moon sometimes looks different, doesn't it? We know that the shape is a sphere, like a ball. But when you look in the sky, sometimes it looks like a full circle. Sometimes you can only see just a little sliver. That shape's called a crescent. Sometimes it looks like half a circle. And sometimes it looks a little bit bigger, but not completely full. That shape's called gibbous. And those different shapes that we see of the moon is called the moon phases, or the phases of the moon. And we'll be learning more about that in 4th grade too, about moon phases. Okay, I'll keep reading. I was born 4.54 billion years ago. I don't remember what it was like to be a baby. Who does? But I've been told I was a hot mess. Look at that picture. Explosive, gassy, very cranky. That's baby Earth. It rained for thousands of years. I'm not kidding, thousands. Then I started to cool off and things got wet, really wet. I was soggy and lonely. A few islands popped up in my oceans, but no plants or animals. My islands must have been lonely too. They got together and made bigger islands called continents. There's Pangaea. I remember and Nuna and the ginormous Pangaea. Then Pangaea split into 7 separate continents. North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia, Antarctica. Things are always changing. As I got older, stuff began to grow. Life! And look at this timeline they have at the bottom to show how the Earth has changed over time. So in the beginning, it says almost half my life. You probably wouldn't even recognize me, though I've always been round. And then look at this number. So look, we have the ones period, thousands periods, the 10,000s periods, and before that, the thousands periods, the millions period, and before that we have the billions period. So I would read this number 2,900,000 years ago. Oh, that's hard to read. I'm going to have to look in my real book. That's little. Thanks for being patient, students. 2,400,000,000 years ago. Air. If anyone had been alive, they could finally take a breath. Wow. Then 470 million years ago, plants that can live on land. 400 million years ago, and then came bugs. Bzz. Then 240 million years ago, my first dinosaur. Then 210 million years ago, yay for mammals, they're fuzzy and warm. 150 million years ago, birds. Did you know they are relatives of dinosaurs? 130 million years ago, flowers. I'm a very pretty planet. It's not that bragging if it's true. And then last 200,000 years ago, Homo sapiens. That's just another word for humans. You humans have big brains and walk on 2 feet. Wow, so look at that whole timeline. If this whole timeline is the age of the Earth, humans came on just right there until now. That's interesting. The time of the dinosaurs was one of my favorites. I mean, everyone loves dinosaurs. They lived with me for 175 million years until... Can you guess what comes next? Asteroid! Oh no, the Earth looks scared. It's not always easy being Earth. Volcanic eruptions, ice ages, major collisions. Collision is just another word that means crash. You can see the asteroid crashing into the Earth. But on the inside, I'm the same planet awesome. Oh, cool. And then you can see the layers of the Earth. On the outside is the crust, which is solid rock. Inside is the mantle, which is liquid rock. And then you have the core. The outer core is made of metal. The outer core is liquid metal, and the inner core is solid metal. You won't learn about the layers of Earth till 5th grade, but you can learn now. Humans have been super fun. No other species has ever been interested in learning about me. Other animals are nice, but they mostly eat and poop and never wonder about my amazing life. Oh, take a minute. Look at all the people around the world, all the different things that they're doing. Earth looks happy. But sometimes humans forget to share and play nice and clean up after themselves. Oh wow, look at this picture. You see lots of pollution happening, people who aren't really taking care of the Earth. Still, I bet you humans will turn out to do really great things. We love you, Earth. And that's the end. All right. Now, before I get to the challenge, well, I'll tell you the challenges now. So my challenges for you are to demonstrate or show someone the difference between rotation and revolution. Number 2, can you make a model of the solar system? Draw and label the planets and the sun. And then 3, discuss with your family. What are some good things we can do for Earth? All right, now I want to take a minute and I want to show you the difference between rotation and revolution. All right, so here I have my sun. I'm going to put it on the ground here so that you can see. All right, so we know that the Earth is always rotating. That means it's spinning around. It's spinning on its axis. And how long did we say it takes? 1 day or 24 hours. So look, if my sun is over here, this is what causes us to have daytime and nighttime. Watch, daytime, nighttime, daytime, nighttime, daytime, nighttime. Now, while the Earth is rotating or turning, it's also revolving around the sun. That's why we have, and that takes a year. Now, the reason that we have seasons is because while the Earth is rotating and revolving, it's actually on a tilted axis, and that's why we have the 4 seasons. All right, well, it has been so much fun to share this story with you. I hope you learned a little bit about Earth. Don't forget to look in the description for the questions that we saw at the beginning to see if you can answer those questions now after reading. See you later, 4th grade.